Most people like to think that they are in control of their thoughts, their actions, that they are consciously making decisions all the time, and that they're in control of what's going on. And the reality is that, they would be right for about 5% of their life. The other 95% of us is on autopilot. We are 5% conscious in the intellectual mind, and we are 95% of the time in the subconscious, pre-programmed autopilot part of our existence. And that might seem like a crazy number, but what happens in the brain is we intellectually learn something that we don't know. We're up here for much more than 5% of the time. We're up here for most of the time until we know how to do something. The moment we know how to do something, learning to drive, maybe, for example, the moment we know how to do something, the bulk of that gets passed down into the subconscious autopilot of the mind to free up intellectual room. So our habits, our routines, the things we know how to do, 5% conscious, 95% of that is subconscious. And the reason why it's important to know that is when we're driving the bus, when we're in control, we are making decisions. We know where we're going. We're choosing to go there, and good outcome or bad, it's okay. We are deciding to do that for good reason. But when we realize that 95% of the time we're in the subconscious mind, we're running a pre-programmed set of instructions that we're unaware of, and we might not be pleased about the outcome. They might be crappy programs that we've installed over time. You can have all kinds of fears in there, all kinds of limiting beliefs, all kinds of bad habits, all kinds of uncomfortable thoughts and things in there. You see, your memory, your behaviors, your habits, your routines, they all live down here in the limbic system, in the automated mechanical part of the brain, which has no intellectual, which has no kind of conscious intelligence. It just does. Okay, so we know 5%, 95% of the time. And to just put that into context very quickly, when you're learning a new thing, driving, for example, you're thinking about every single thing. You've got your hands on the steering wheel, you've got your feet ready, you've got, where the gears are, and you need to turn left. You're kind of doing the wheel, your hand goes onto the gears, your feet do the thing, and you're very, very busy thinking. But as soon as you know that, as soon as your brain knows anything, it passes it down into the subconscious mind to make room. And once you know how to drive and you think, okay, I've got to turn left, it's kind of all you think is turning left. Your hands just start moving and your feet move, and you've turned left and you're driving again. And you maybe thought about that for 5% of the time. And that's what I'm talking about. You're only consciously aware 5% of the time. So anything we do repeatedly, anything we do over and over and over, your intellectual mind quickly learns that and passes it down. And that's the thing to be aware of, because what we're learning, we're passing down, we're programming ourselves to run automatic programs. And if we're thinking negative thoughts over and over and over, those things get passed down. If we're believing that we're rubbish, that thought gets passed down. If we're thinking how crappy the world is all the time and how tough things are and how difficult things are and how low that ceiling is and how hard it is to, get people to do stuff, this is the stuff that gets passed down. This is the, intellectually, we probably know that's not true. But on autopilot, when you're just reacting, you're reacting to the program. So just having that awareness can, in your intellectual mind, in your conscious time, you could be more careful about what you're thinking, more careful about what you're believing, more careful about what you put in there in the first place, the people you're hanging around with, the things you're doing, the time you're spending, more consciously aware of anything you're repeating over time. You're going to program that, and that's what you're going to run on autopilot. So I am Jake from Stressed Executive, helping people to realize that they're on autopilot, to reprogram what they put into their autopilot, and to make a difference in their life by addressing the stress and unwinding the mind.